Hello and welcome to A Life of Creation. My name is Chad. I'm the host of this channel. If you like what you've seen so far, please like and subscribe and click the notification button so you know when I release new content. Today I'm excited because we are talking to Jered Scott, who is probably one of the best concert photographers I know. He's done a lot, and we are going to ask him the 10 questions. So let's hear his answers. Just use an overlay. Question 4. I don't think your creation has to be good to grow from it. I'm certainly not good at everything. What are some things you create that might not be considered great, but something that you still gained value from the creation? And then, do you have words of encouragement for those who get discouraged when their creations fall short of their expectations?
Things that I create. Um, yeah, I mean, like when I was growing up, I really liked drawing. Um, and I still do. Like I like to draw with my kids. And as soon as I finish something, I realize like, oh, this isn't good, or I don't like at the end of the day, I like it. But I like the process.
Right.
I like having fun. I like, sharing that time and space with my kids. Um, when it comes to like other kinds of creating, like I'm not technically proficient with video, but I like the process. I like utilizing what I know about photography in a video setting. And a lot of what I do, I feel like, yeah, probably doesn't work out great. But because it's like a new area, I feel like it stretches. And I feel like it brings me back to a place where I can like learn every time that I set out to do something, even if all I'm learning is like how to do that more efficiently. Like, I feel like I can learn from it. And so even when those kind of things aren't maybe usable for somebody else, I feel like I'm gaining from that.
Right.
I'm gaining experience points or whatever it is.
Right.
um, and for people who get discouraged, uh, I would say, like, number one, if you have a vision, like, my first thing is like consider yourself lucky that you have vision. Like, I think a lot of people don't have vision. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't a lot of times. Like, that, there are very few projects in my entire career where I had an idea and set out to like accomplish that goal. I think for me, a lot of the time it was winging it. And that's just how I liked doing things.
Right.
So if you have vision, like, that's rad.
Yeah.
Um, and if your vision doesn't fully work out or land the way that you want to, then like I think you try to learn from the experience. And like I feel like I learned enough, and it's in hindsight, right? Like you leave the shoot, you realize, oh, that's why this photo doesn't land. Like,
Right.
this wasn't technically right. I need to work on my technical skills. Or they weren't into the idea because I didn't communicate it well. Like when I went in the studio with Motion City and Mark, my concept was these guys are all kind of funny. They're all kind of goofy. So I wanted to take a goofy photo where all the guys in the band were wearing their headphones, like that they were listening to a mix. and that they were all either like so proud of themselves or like so pumped by what they were listening to that they were all like, yeah, like, like freaking out. And I wanted Mark in the foreground of the photo holding all of the inputs in his hand so that they're not, he's showing the, viewer, they're
Right.
not listening to anything like these guys. But I was so nervous to pitch the idea that it came across just like real flat. They didn't understand. They didn't seem into it. They asked what other ideas I had, and I came with none because I was so into that idea. So I was trying to think of things on the fly, and we were running out of time, and we defaulted. And like, I was just like, this is all that I got. Like, let's just do it. And they were like reluctant, and they did it. And the photo is not that great. Like, it's cool that it documented all of them.
Right.
Like, it doesn't communicate what I was trying to communicate. And I didn't know that. I mean, again, I was like a year and a half or something into my career. And before my career, I wasn't taking art classes. I
Right.
wasn't somebody's intern or something. Like, I was self-taught on the job from day one. And so it was like going home, editing the photos and looking and being like, why don't I like this? And being like, oh, it's because I wasn't confident in the
Right.
delivery. Like,
Right.
I didn't help them see the vision. I didn't get them to trust me. And because of that, I failed. I missed it. And
Right.
so I learned like A, always have backup ideas. B, if you believe in something, like deliver it with some conviction,
Right.
like stand behind it. And I've done that on a number of projects since. And I would say with almost 100% success rate, like every time that I'm like, this is what I want to do, this is going to be cool. Like, they believe me
Right.
and we can do it. And it's cool. Like, you know, um, so I'd say like trust yourself in those things. So go back, investigate what you think didn't work and learn from it.
Yeah.
And don't give up just because you miss. Like, I think it was Michael Scott that said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's such
Uh,
a good quote.
yes. I'm glad that he came up with it.
Right.
Uh, so I think it's that. And I think the other part of maybe the advice is like surround yourself with a community and get real with that community. Like, and by that, I mean, like, if you're a photographer, surround yourself with some other photographers so you can bounce ideas off them, so you can show them work and get real, honest feedback. Like that, I think I was always looking for that. And I had a few friends that I would go to, and a couple of them feel like they would only respond with like a positive. They'd be like, cool. And I'm just like, no, no, I want more. Like, if you don't like it, tell me what you don't like about it. I want to grow. I want to be challenged. I want to be stretched. Like, I want to get better. And if you're just doing everything on your own, I think it is extremely difficult to grow in those ways. But if you have community that you trust, that you know they're giving you feedback from a good place, then I think it can really push and help, you become better and see things, that either you're afraid to admit or that you're like unaware of, and having other people point that out can definitely help you like skip ahead in
Right.
growth, you know. um I think there were a number of times I took like photos in a setting I was unfamiliar with, and then in post couldn't get the edit there. And I've one older friend who I looked up to like a mentor, even though he like wasn't,
Right.
and but I knew I could like send stuff like that, and I'd send him the photo and I'd be like, dude, I can't get this edit. And a few minutes later, he'd send the photo back and it would be dialed. And I'd be like, yes, okay, that's it. Okay, what'd you do? and he would type, back to me. He'd be like, learn how to edit your photos. And I'd be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I will. I will. But like, tell me, like, what were the settings? What'd you do? And he's like, learn how to edit your photos. And I was so frustrated because, you just want like the cheat code.
Right.
But by him showing me it's possible and then not giving me the answer, I sat and I tinkered and I pushed and I played and I got real close. And so, yeah, back then I didn't know how to get all the way there, but I got it really close and I was really happy with that. And then I was able to do that with another friend when he had that kind of problem. He
Right.
sent a photo to me that he couldn't do, that he couldn't get to look right. And I edited it really quick, sent it back to him. And he was like, how'd you do that? What did you do? And I said, learn how to edit your photo. Um, so having community that you can trust is like super valuable.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned editing because I feel like anytime I see a photo, I can be like, "That's Jered Scott," because you have
all
a
the time.
style. Yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, I've seen people try and replicate that. I mean, I'm sure I've tried to replicate it because it's just a look and it's a vibe like you said, and no one has quite mastered it. I think, but it made your photos always pop out to me. So I love that you had like this kind of like a editing style that was unique to you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And again, that's what we're like, back to like being passionate and stuff. It's like passion informs those decisions. Like
Yeah,
when it's stuff that I care about, like you're not going to see it if I don't like it.
right,
And if I'm passionate about it, I'm going to work it and work it and work it until I like it. And then you're going to see it.
right.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, you did a good job on
Thank you.
it.